Hey everybody, Sean Johnson, Nerd Dad Extraordinaire, accountant, and all of that. Reporting back at you with C233 employment law. I just passed it, I think it was 2 or so weeks ago. Maybe it was a week ago, I don't know. This term has kind of been blurring together, mostly because it's like we've been super busy this summer. And just like with my kids both getting to the age where they're like both really busy, I haven't had a lot of time to work on school. So it's like I finished C233 and like took a week off because like my kids were sick. Both of them were sick. Me and my wife had to trade off taking time off from work and like all that fun stuff. But anyway, here's my little brief summary about the class and like what I did to pass it. So, in my opinion, this class is just kind of like an add-on to the Introduction to Human Resources Management class. That's C232, by the way. Really, it covers a lot of the same topics that class kind of touched on, but then goes more in depth into like the actual HR laws and stuff like that. I did 2 major things in this class. The first thing was that I went through all of the cohorts. Everyone that was available, I watched. That was the first thing I did. Second was the study guide, which is available in the course resources section. And it's actually a fairly in-depth study guide. The first tab is actually a law section where it lists out every single law and then the notes that you take for that law. I didn't use that per se. I copied and pasted the titles of the laws into a OneNote tab, and then I typed in who the law affects, how many employees you have to have for it to affect you, and what's covered in the law. And I did that for every single law. Now, something to keep in mind, there are 2 laws, I can't remember the names of them, but they both affect unions. So one gives more power to unions and the other one gives more power to employers. So it like takes power away, kind of like evens out the playing field between unions and management. But they're both titled really similarly. Don't get confused as to what they are. Memorize the names, who they affect, how many employees you need to have until they affect you, so on and so on. So I went through the cohorts, and then I went through the study guide, and then anything that kind of I felt was a little bit weak, not covered super well in the study guide, but was like mentioned in the course competencies or something like that, I would go and just touch in the textbook. I barely went into the textbook. When I did the cohorts and the study guide, I took the PA. I got like it looked like to be about an 85, almost 90, so I was like, I'm pretty confident in my knowledge in this area. Working in payroll for as long as I did, about 6 years, I've had exposure to a lot of the laws, especially the FLSA and the Equal Opportunities Employment Act, the Equal Opportunities Act, the Fair Pay Act, stuff like that. Stuff I've worked in before, like I had knowledge of. But yeah, like I said, I barely touched the textbook. I didn't feel this class was super hard. I just didn't dedicate a lot of time to it. And so it took me about 2 weeks to get through. I could have done it way faster if I wanted to, but like I said, I've been very busy with just like family stuff and the summer and my kids being sick and all that. So really that's it. I've been looking forward to these HR classes because I figured that they wouldn't be super difficult considering they're like introductory courses. They could have landed in the difficulty level of like intro to finance, intro to IT. Yeah, like, you know, those easier classes, the D75, D76, those classes that took me like a week or a week and a half each. I consider those like on equal level to those classes. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. If you have any questions or anything, reach out to me, and I'll help how I can. Maybe I'll post another link to my LinkedIn. If you want to connect, you can. Feel free. But that's all I have for you, and this Nerd Dad Extraordinaire is out of here.